Hi everyone, my name is Angela and today I'm starting a new little vlog project where this vlog does not end until I have read 5 books from my physical TBR. So let's start off by going through all of the books on my physical TBR. I'm currently at 48, which is a really great number for me. So on this shelf we have these 2 Anne of Green Gables books, which I can't read yet because I'm still rereading through the series. I'm going to be buddy reading A Discovery of Witches with my friend Sarah in October, so now is not the time for this one. A real contender for this vlog is Madship. This is the second book in the series and I really want to get to this one before I forget all of the details, but it is also a very chunky book at over 800 pages. So that is, of course, a very big commitment. And then these 2 books I cannot read yet. And then these are already read. And then we do, of course, have my lovely TBR cart. My goal is soon to be able to fit all of my TBR books just on this cart. So I'm going to go through it right now, pull out a few options, and then I'm going to tell you about them and why I might choose them for this vlog. I just want to get like kind of a potential TBR to start off. Okay, like I said, Madship is definitely a top contender, but I also pulled out some of these. So first up we have Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon by Mizuki Sujimura. I literally just bought this the other day. This is a short translated novel. I believe this is like magical realism, and I think it's going to be like a really heartfelt human story with a magical realism aspect. I really liked this author's book, Lonely Castle in the Mirror, so I was super excited to get my hands on this. And yeah, it's short, which is great, especially in comparison to Madship. 2 books that are on my 25 for 25 TBR that I made last year. I had to let my cat out of the closet. I didn't realize she was in there. We have Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi and The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali. These are both historical fiction. This one is set in Ghana in the 18th century, and this one is set in Tehran, I think in the 1950s. And I haven't really been reading a ton of just like straight up historical fiction, but these are both short and ones that I really want to read. I just haven't been in the mood for them lately, so this vlog is a good push to get me to pick them up. We have a spooky classic that I bought purely because of how beautiful this book is. This is the first book that I ever bought with like sprayed edges. This is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, and I am not really a horror reader, but I have read quite a few horror books for someone who isn't a horror reader, weirdly enough, and I have enjoyed many of them. So maybe me saying I'm not a horror reader is just that I don't like certain types of horror, and certain horror movies I really despise. Anyway, I think I definitely want to give this one a try, and I am in the mood right now for very fall, witchy, spooky books. And then the last one that I'm feeling really drawn to is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I've been meaning to read this for so long. There's a, I think, BBC miniseries of this show that I watched like 8 years ago that I really enjoyed. I don't necessarily remember much about it, so reading this book will be, you know, I'm not going to know everything that happens. I'm excited to read this. I mean, not that excited, right, because I've had this for years, but in theory, I really want to read this. It's just, usually I need a little bit of a push to pick up a classic, and doing these kind of TBR focused vlogs really helps me with that. So I have no idea how long this vlog's going to take, but today is the evening of September 7th, so this could take 2 weeks, this could take a month, this could take 2 months. I have no idea. I've currently been reading a lot of library books. My main current read right now is Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which is a library book. So I think when I finish this, or maybe when I'm closer to finishing this, I will very bravely pick up one of these books to start off the vlog, one of these shorter ones, and then eventually, hopefully, we will be reading Madship by Robin Hobb. I hope you enjoy this vlog, and I hope that I enjoy all of the books that I end up reading. I can't wait for future me to see how this turns out. Hello everyone, it is Friday of the same week. I started a book on Wednesday and I did finish Her Majesty's Royal Coven on Wednesday. I am about 50 pages into Homegoing. I chose this one because my friend Rhea really loves this book and I've been telling her I'm going to read it for a while, so I thought I should really do it. The main premise of this book is that we have two half-sisters growing up in Ghana. They don't know that the other exists. One of them ends up the wife of a wealthy Englishman in this castle on the coast of Ghana, and the other one ends up as an enslaved person in the same castle in the dungeon. And we are watching we're going to be watching their descendants. So I'm 109 pages into Next to You, and I'm really enjoying this. So this is the second book in one of Hannah Bonam-Young's series. The series is called Next. The first one is Next of Kin, and this one is following Lane, who is the friend of Chloe, who's the main girl in the first book. And Lane is turning 27, which is kind of fun because I'm turning 27 in a couple weeks. And she's having a bit of a crisis. She's not really sure and she's happy with where her life's going. She's feeling a bit empty without a partner. She's feeling a bit bored and like her life's not going anywhere, and she kind of impulsively, but also not impulsively, because she does a lot of research and thinking about it, but it's a little bit of like a quick decision. But anyway, she buys this school bus that she's going to renovate into like a mobile home, I guess. You know those videos online where people renovate a bus and it's like a little house and they travel? That's what she's gonna do. This guy, Matt, is also in the friend group, and he's a mechanic, and he is friends with Lane. We see them kind of meet for the first time at the beginning of the book, and then we have a time jump, and they've actually become really good friends. And there's always been a little bit of romantic tension between these two, but they are just friends, and the tension is really amping up as he is helping her with this process. So we just had a bit of the book where they were on a road trip together to go get this bus, and she needed him because she doesn't have her like a commercial driver's license yet. So they needed, they like took a rental car to the place where the bus was, and then he drove the bus back for her. And so we had this really cute like road trip moment with just these really great moments of like subtle flirting and like obvious moments of they like each other but also they're just friends, and it's just really good. I'm really having a good time. I kind of just want to sit and read this book for hours, which is a great feeling and one that I don't always get with romance books. I mean, is anyone shocked that a book that's rated 4.47 on Goodreads was a 5-star for me? I don't think anyone's shocked. This is an excellent book. The people get it. I got it. I loved this. Is it like a new favorite book of all time? No, probably not, but it's definitely a 5-star, and I think for sure. I haven't read that much historical fiction this year, so maybe that's not saying much, but I think definitely the best historical fiction I've read. It's so impressive how this author was able to have so many characters, so many descendants in this 300-page book and give you a small snapshot of each of their stories and have you be completely drawn in. It's not easy to introduce a character in their life in 20, 30, 40 pages. I don't even think any of these were as long as 40 pages. I think most of them were like between 15 and 20. But there are so many like big overarching topics in this book that are explored through these individuals, and that's what I love about historical fiction, is taking something as broad as slavery or incarceration or colonial rule, something like that that's huge, and exploring it through someone's smaller story. So this was great. I'm very glad that I finally picked this up. I think my friend will be happy to know that I loved it. I did actually tear up at the ending, which is kind of rare for me. I feel like my meds that I take kind of keep me from crying these days, but I actually did tear up at one point. So that is impressive. Just popping in to say that this book is so fucking good, and I'm having so much fun, and I love it, and it's amazing, and I think it's going to be 5 stars. I have about 100 pages left, so we'll see. Great news, I did finish Next to You, and I'm giving this 5 stars. This was so freaking good. I'm so relieved that I have another 5-star from this author, because the last book I read from her was Next of Kin, which I only gave 3 stars. So to have another 5-star, like, knocked it out of the park book, it makes me so happy. This is probably my favorite romance of the year, I think. Yeah, I think I like it more than every other 5-star romance book that I've read this year. I think Lane was so relatable to me. I loved Matt. He was such a perfect, bookish, hot, sweet, yet really strong and hot dad bod, muscular man. Like, he was just perfect. I'm very happy. I can't believe I finished 2 books in the same day and gave them both 5 stars. What a great auspicious start to the vlog. Okay, so I fear I'm a little bit of a liar, because I did say that I was probably going to read Mad Ship in this vlog, and I don't think that's going to happen anymore. So these are the other ones that I talked about having on my tentative TBR. Let's see if there are any others on the cart that I would like to consider. So the 2 that I added to the pile are James by Percival Everett and The Magician's Daughter by H.G. Parry. This is a fantasy standalone, quite whimsical, and this is of course the Pulitzer Prize winning retelling of Huck Finn. So I'm gonna go read the first page of all of these in bed, and I will hopefully decide, and I will let you know when I have a reading update. Hello friends. Last I spoke to you, I was trying to pick a book, and it is now Saturday, September 20th, which is insane. And I can tell you the book that I've chosen is The Magician's Daughter by H.G. Parry. I'm currently 124 pages into this. I think I'm going to sit down and read some more of this and use the Focus Friend app with the little bean to get more socks so that I can get more decor. I'll probably show at the end of this vlog, like, where I've gotten with that app, because I started using it like during the process of filming this vlog. And then I actually started a second book from my TBR today. I needed another audiobook because I just finished the audiobook that I've been listening to, and I had access to this audiobook on Hoopla, and so I decided to start Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This book is really popular in the YA space. This was like extremely popular when it came out, and still is. I believe it's getting an adaptation, so people have been talking about this lately. And yeah, I probably will tell you guys about this one later because I have barely started it. But The Magician's Daughter, I can tell you about. This one is very whimsical historical fantasy. It takes place on an island, a magical island off the coast of Ireland, and it takes place in 1912, we learn, and we have our main character Biddy. She is 16 and she has lived her entire life on this island. She has never been to Ireland or England. She's never been anywhere except this island, and the only person that she knows is her guardian Rowan, who is a mage, and his familiar, who is a rabbit named Hutchinson. And I really love the rabbit companion. So fun. And they live in this kind of castle that's falling apart a little bit, and they just live a very simple, whimsical, happy life on this island. But unfortunately, Biddy learns that there is some danger to be wary of. And so she actually has to go to the mainland for the first time in her life. Something I love about this book is you can really tell that H.G. Parry loves a lot of classic books like Jane Eyre and Anne of Green Gables and A Tale of Two Cities, and I love all of those books, and I grew up reading those types of books. So I don't know, something about this author's like writing style and passions and the type of characters she writes and the type of references she makes just really appeals to me. It's definitely not as intense of a fantasy book as I like, so I'm not sure if this one is going to wow me in the way that I was hoping. I really like being on their magical island a lot more than being in the real world. You know that clip of Jennifer Lawrence when she's at like an Oscars like press thing after she won or something, and she's like, hello, and like no one answers? That's what I feel like every single time I talk to the camera. I'm here to talk about my final thoughts on The Magician's Daughter. I just finished this like 15 minutes ago. I'm giving this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. As I said in my Goodreads review, which none of you will have read, I think that this book is really for people who like all of the following things: whimsical fantasy, classic novels, and historical fiction. I think if you like 2 of those things, you should try it out. If you only like one of those things, maybe this one isn't going to be for you. But if you like all 3, I definitely think that this could be a really strong book for you. I feel like this author and I, if we had met in real life and if we were like of similar ages, that we would be friends. Because I kind of feel like we have similar brains. Not that I could write this book, because I couldn't write this book. That's not what I'm saying. But just something about like the books that she clearly loves and the types of stories that she tells. And I don't know, I just feel like she is writing these books for me. And obviously this like wasn't 5 stars, like it wasn't a perfect book. So obviously she's not like an all-time favorite author, but I don't know, something about H.G. Parry and the stories that she's writing really speak to me, and I feel like she is a kindred spirit. So very happy to have finally read this one. This is also on my list of books that I said I would read this year, so we're one step closer to meeting that goal. This is the 3rd book of the vlog, so I have 2 more books to read. I am currently about 200 pages into Children of Blood and Bone. I have mostly read all of that on audio, but I think that book is going to become my main focus, and I will start reading it physically as well. Good morning. I have pumpkins and books on my shirt. Can you see them? That is all I have to say. So as I'm over 300 pages into this book, I think I should tell you what it's about. So this is a YA fantasy inspired by like Nigerian mythology folklore, West African folklore. This author I think has like a degree. Yeah, she has a degree in West African mythology, religion, and culture. Our main character is Zaylee, and she lost her mother 10 years ago when magic disappeared from the world, and her mom was murdered basically by the king and his guards, who kind of got rid of everyone with magic, essentially because the king wants to keep power and he himself doesn't have magic, and so this mysterious moment where magic left granted him the opportunity to kill all of them. So already starting out pretty violent for a YA book. Zaylee is now a teenager and she gets involved in this plot. It's not really on the back of the book exactly, but we do know from the back of the book that she's going to have to try to bring magic back to her kingdom. And so it's very much this like magic versus the crown situation. She is our main character, but we also do have 2 other perspectives that we follow, and right now they're kind of on a quest adventure kind of thing. It reminds me ever so slightly of Percy Jackson, definitely not like the humor and the silliness of it, but just kind of the plot beats and I don't know, just a little something. If you like Percy Jackson, maybe try this one out. So yeah, I'm over 300 pages into this. I would really like to finish this by the end of tomorrow. Right now, my feelings are that I like it. I'm not bored, but I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not loving it. It's not giving me really strong feelings. So if I had to predict right now, I'd say this is probably going to be like a 3.5, 3.75 star book. I got 2 lip things from Trixie Cosmetics, and I've never bought from them before, but these are very cute. I'm wearing my new Trixie Cosmetics lip gloss, and I painted my nails, and I'm wearing my new Madewell shirt that I'm obsessed with. It's literally just stripes, but it's like this like woven knitted material. Very cute. And all I really need to say to you is that I started The Haunting of Hill House last night, and it looks so cool with my nails. I literally only read like 5 pages, but I think I have decided that this is going to be my next read. But I'm still reading this, and this much of the way through. And yeah, I'm gonna go to work now. So I just had my birthday dinner with my husband and some family, and tomorrow my friend Sarah is coming. So far I have received 1 book for my birthday, and that is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wong. I did end up finishing Children of Blood and Bone last night, and I'm giving this 3.75 stars. In terms of being similar to Percy Jackson, what I meant by that was like the aspect of having gods and having like powers based on that god's powers themselves and like their attributes. That's in here as well. And also like the quest, there's also like a deadline. That happens a lot, I feel, in Percy Jackson, where it's like we have to do this thing before the summer solstice, and that was kind of a thing in here. And then of course we have like a group of young kids or young teens or teens, whatever, children essentially traveling together. And I just really like that dynamic of having a journey in a YA middle grade fantasy. This is not middle grade, this is YA. I would say that this is like one of the darker YA books that I've ever read, and there were definitely things at the end of the book that were quite gag-worthy, shall we say. So this was definitely a success, and I'm really glad that I picked this book up for this vlog, because this very well could have sat languishing on my shelves for years, and I bought this at the beginning of the year, so I'm glad that I read it in the same year. I'm gonna go get changed and probably eat some ice cream cake with my husband. 50 pages into The Haunting of Hill House, and today is the day that I wanted to have everything read by the end of the day. So it's currently 10:30 on Friday the 26th, and my friend is coming at like 8-9 p.m. So my hope was that I would be done with all the books for this vlog by the end of the day. So I have about 150 pages to read. However, I do not have access to the audiobook, and I need to clean my house. I kind of left all the big cleaning things for today because I took the day off from work, and I figured I could just pop in an audiobook or a podcast or a YouTube video and just have kind of a really productive day before a really fun weekend. And now I'm like, when am I gonna read this book? So I have my iced latte in this Buc-ee's cup. I am going to go, I think, watch BookTube on my phone while I clean my bathroom. And maybe after every couple tasks, I will take a little bit of a reading break and see if that helps. I could do like a 30-minute sprint and use my Focus Friend app, because that always does motivate me. My thoughts so far on the book are the writing style is very like, it's this very specific, like, early to mid 20th century writing style that I recognize. It almost reminds me of Anne of Green Gables, which is kind of crazy because it's so different from Anne of Green Gables. But yeah, but so far we're just following this woman named Eleanor, and she has been invited to come to Hill House by this scientist, pseudoscientist, Dr. Montague, who wants to do some research about this apparently haunted house. And what he did was he scoured the newspapers for people who had been reported to experience something supernatural or paranormal, and he sent letters to, like, I don't know, 20 people and invited them all to this house. And it turns out that 2 of them are actually coming, and they're both women. Eleanor is the one that we've been following, and then we also have Theodora, who is also a young woman, and she seems a lot more confident and carefree than Eleanor, who seems a bit of an anxious girly. And yeah, they haven't spent their first night in the house yet. They keep talking about how, like, weird the house is and how ugly it is, like, literally just the architecture and the decor of the rooms, like, just something already. They hate the house. They say that it's ugly and they hate it, you know, they're scared to be there, like, literally just because of the physical house. Nothing supernatural has happened. So I really have no idea where this is gonna go. I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty tame by 21st century standards, which is good because I don't actually like to be scared. So I'm guessing it's just gonna be ghosts. We'll see. We will see if all of this stuff gets done today. I kind of doubt it. I come to you with a wet head of hair with good news and bad news. The good news is that I finished all of my chores today, and I also finished The Haunting of Hill House. The bad news is that I hated this. I actively did not enjoy, like, anything about this. I was hesitant to read this for so long because horror is not my favorite genre. I have enjoyed horror books before, though. I have given out 5 and 4 stars to multiple horror books, so it's not that I hate horror. I'm just very picky with it. And this is essentially just a group of people in this famously haunted house who are trying to see what happens and take notes, and it is so boring. The dialogue is nonsensical, and I feel like if you've read this book, you can make an argument that the dialogue is nonsensical because it's trying to be unsettling. And so, like, I guess, like, I could believe that, but I just felt, like, so bored and confused the whole time. The dialogue often, like, didn't make any sense. I was like, what the fuck are you people talking about? I didn't really like the character work or the writing style. I had hope, you know, the first 50 pages I had hope, but it really wasn't scary. The only unsettling thing about it was the weird dialogue, honestly, and how bored I was. I don't think that the house was particularly scary. It wasn't a thrilling plot. It wasn't exciting. When things started happening, I was like, oh, yay. And then it was just sort of like, oh, okay. So I really don't know why people love this book. I did skim through the introduction after I finished, and I understood what they were saying about kind of the themes in this book, but I also think that they were done in such a mediocre way. Like, there are so many books out there that explore similar themes, and the books aren't extremely boring. So I'm actually giving this 1 star. I think there are books that I have read that were 2 stars that I really should have given 1 star, and didn't feel like I had enough evidence for, like, why there was, like, nothing redeemable about the books. And I think something about Shirley Jackson being an author who has been deceased for a long time gives me the permission to just be brutally honest in the fact that I didn't like anything about this and it wasn't for me. I guess you could make an argument that me trying to finish this book and read like, 180 pages of this today was maybe leading me to be really impatient, or I don't know, because you would think that reading a book in a big chunk would help your enjoyment. I hated this. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was good. I guess my worry was that it was going to be too scary and I would like get nightmares, and I wish that that had happened, because at least that is something. What a way to end the vlog. The first book that I have rated 1 star in a really long time. I definitely would have DNF'd this if this had not been for a reading vlog where I specifically was trying to finish a number of books. Before I go, I do want to show you my decorated house progress in the Focus Friend app. So this is my little beans room currently. That is all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more bookish content from me.